I don't think we've ever hit a circuit breaker. I don't really actually, in my memory, no. We may have. I don't actually think we did. I don't think so.
What sparked it?
What sparked it? Well, clearly we had 1 week we were down 3,500 points. Then we had a week of up a thou, down a thou. Clearly, frantic anxiety about the markets due to the virus. We had some little Fed action getting involved, which sort of, while a stimulus tends to worry people because we need to be cutting rates that fast and furious. Perhaps there's something really bad going on. Weekends are sort of the perfect storm. People get to see what's going on. They're sitting at home watching their TVs. And this weekend, I think today's sell-off was clearly due to this, I'm going to call it sort of a trade war between Russia and Saudi Arabia, breaking off their deal about oil and not only deciding to limit their production, but in fact raise production. So I think it's a Russian attack on our oil industry. That made oil, first of all, the first news of it came out on Friday, made oil go down 10%. And then over the weekend, it completely tore the market apart and it went down another 25%. So it's kind of a capitulation in oil. That really throws a wrench in everything. You've got a lot of new spread of the virus. People are sort of basically understanding that the global economic implications of theme parks closing, casinos closing, airports are empty, streets are empty, and all the support staff around all these industries, if people start staying home and not going out to eat, that's one thing. If they stop traveling, that's another. If planes are empty, that's a huge thing. If cities are sort of ghost towns, this is going to affect the consumer. It's going to affect every industry down the line. So I think that's where it came from, on a Friday into a Sunday where the world fell apart, literally. It's not the end of the world. It is panic and fear. It is anxiety. It's sort of overrun the hope that the market will find a bottom, right? And it's huge. I mean, health issues we've not really seen before of this magnitude. Then you counter that and you catalyze a further leg down with the oil thing, which is a huge problem. The two largest powers in oil fighting is not good. It's way bigger than our altercation with the Chinese over trade. So I think that's one of the biggest contributing factors to today's sell-off.
The general public who maybe don't understand things as well as you do might be freaking out right now. What's your response to that?
It's hard to know what to say. I'm not a financial advisor. I've never owned a share of stock in my life, so I'm able to get a little bit of a disengagement emotionally. I think people are scared. They're looking at their 401ks, that obviously are a little less than they were a couple of weeks ago. It's clearly markets in turmoil. It's hard to know what to say. I would imagine that the large money people are positioning themselves to give themselves some kind of protection, whether they're buying bonds or they're buying gold or they're buying the VIX, the fear index. The regular retail trader, hopefully some got a little off the table. 14 trading days ago, we were at a record high. We had just had the fastest 1,000 point rally in history to record highs. We've now seen the fastest, most furious correction in history, right? And we've got a perfect storm going on with a health crisis and an oil crisis. So there's surely, the fear is warranted. Panic is not something I would like them to engage in. But it's hard I think people need to separate themselves from, not get emotional about money. It's a great line from the original Wall Street movie when Charlie Sheen says to Gordon Gekko, never get emotional about money, Gordon. So, if you're a trader, I think you've got to be nimble, take profits where you can. If you're an investor, I think you've got to look for the long term. Is this a 1 or 2 quarter event? I would hope so. Does this burn itself out? I think the oil story is going to hang and linger. I hope the virus story, we get some containment, some control over it, and I hope that gives the market a little bit of a boost.
Anything else?
I know it's definitely an eventful morning this morning, just minutes after the opening bell, but also kind of a different change of pace with the opening bell, but no guests on the floor. Something. How would you describe it?
To be perfectly honest, obviously that they've now restricted some guests coming from the floor. They were here. They were in the balcony. They were here. They were in the balcony. To be perfectly honest, it was a morning that was so wild due to opening down limit, basically, Then 5 minutes into the opening, we actually, circuit breakers went off and we stopped trading. So basically, my job is to convey to my customers where stocks are going to open, what the market is going to do, and then once it stops trading, where the stocks are going to reopen. So I really didn't even notice that the guests were not here. They were here on the floor. Obviously, the market is, this is one of the only human markets in the world. So it's imperative that we protect our employees here, right? I think the support staff did an incredible job. It was a smooth and orderly opening. It was a smooth and orderly circuit breaker stopping of trading, and we're now back open. The market sort of settled in, obviously at a discount, but I think we're going to be okay.
All right.
Did you get any deja vu moments from your time? You're on the 80s.
Sure. The 1780s.
1780s, that is.
You know what, to be perfectly honest, absolutely. I kind of think, I've seen things from 1985 on. So the crash of 87, the financial crisis, Brexit, Lehman Brothers, President Trump, China tariff story. I've seen massive sell-offs and massive rallies. And I would think this morning definitely felt more like a 1987 crash. In the fact that it was frenetic, it was frantic. We had a circuit breaker go off. For me, I thrive on that. It's good to be able to get a good handle on what's going on here. It's wonderful to see humans at work in this market, not just a bunch of machines going up and down where you can't really control it. So, we took the market off automatic pilot. All the people here, the market makers, the brokers, support staff, the exchange, basically started flying the plane through turbulence, and I think we did a great job.